Hey guys, I'm Brian, and everything you're about to hear is true. Some of it's true. One of the things you're about to hear is true. It doesn't matter. Today we're going to talk about Al Mooney. You may not know this, but Al Mooney is kind of like the Chuck Norris of aviation, and I'll explain that first. But who's Al Mooney? Al Mooney was the guy who invented this plane here. He invented this one and this one. He invented that one. He invented this one. Normally there's a Mooney there. He also designed the wing that's on my airplane. Let me show you a Mooney wing and my wing. It's a very thin airfoil with the thickest part of the cord moved back towards the middle of the wing. If you see like a Bonanza or something, they're very fat in the front. Same thing on my airplane, except I've got wing tips. The thickest part of the cord's here in the middle of the wing. We've got a very thin profile on our airfoil. Obviously, he was a brilliant engineer. He created these airplanes that go very fast and don't burn much fuel at all. If you want to know about Al Mooney, you can go up to any Mooney pilot and just look at their plane and say, it looks pretty cramped in there. Quickly, they'll tell you how tall Al Mooney was, how much he weighed, that he was the size of 4 linebackers, and he carried a ton of people in the thing. It's very cramped. It's not that, but they will die on that hill. My life right now is a little hectic, and I'm still grounded. Someone stole my door and replaced it with a bed sheet. So for now, let's hand this over to the voiceover guy, and you can learn the legend of Al Mooney.
In the beginning, there was Slow. Then along came one man who would change everything. Long ago, in the sacred halls of an aviation engineering lab, where mere mortals sketched blueprints, one man defied the laws of physics, space, and personal comfort. His name, Al Mooney. Before Al Mooney, aviation was inefficient. Planes were slow, draggy, and worst of all, pilots had way too much room to move around. There was a dark time in history when men, careless, selfish men, sat in their cockpits with knees splayed wide, their arms relaxed, their torsos able to shift slightly left or right. It was chaos. It was reckless. Al Mooney saw this and said, "No more." While other manufacturers wasted precious inches of cockpit width, Al Mooney traded them for pure, unfiltered speed. Born to design, determined to put an end to manspreading, Al Mooney set out to build a plane that would trick pilots into thinking that if you could still move your fingers, you had extra leg room. It's said that Al Mooney didn't learn aerodynamics, he invented it. He didn't believe in wasted space, excess weight, or comfortable cabin dimensions. To the untrained eye, the cockpit of a Mooney may seem snug, as if it were designed for children. Critics of the Mooney aircraft often say it's cramped, that it's a flying phone booth, and that getting inside requires making peace with the fact that once you're in, you might not get out. And you will look stupid both entering and exiting the craft. There's no way around it. But Mooney owners? They will never admit it. Before a pilot can finish saying it seems cramped, a veteran Mooney owner would appear out of nowhere and proclaim, "Al Mooney was 6'5" and fit just fine." Yet strangely, every time a Mooney owner says it, his height increases. In the 1980s, Al was 6'7". By 1995, he was 6'9". And in 2020, Mooney owners would state it's common knowledge that he was 7'1" and wore a top hat while flying. But one thing is true, he did design the most efficient wing in aviation, a wing so efficient it could carry 4 very small, uncomfortable people very quickly, burning almost no fuel. Ask a Mooney pilot how fast their plane is. Every time you ask, the speed will increase and the fuel burn will shrink. With such an efficient wing, it was only a matter of time before someone came along wanting to use the design for themselves. Meet William T. Piper, a man who wanted the speed provided by the Mooney but also believed pilots should be able to walk freely around the cabin. We don't know how tall William Piper was, but Mooney pilots are certain he was shorter than Al. Piper dreamed of building a fast, beautiful, and roomy plane he could call the Comanche, named after the Jeep Comanche, which would be developed a few years later. Initially, Al refused to share the design because he said it couldn't be done. It shouldn't be done. Old Man Piper had a trick up his sleeve. By simply doubling the fuel burn, we can go fast, fly high, and pilots can get out of each other's laps. Knowing that he would still maintain the bragging rights about fuel burn, Al said, "Well, I'm not getting any shorter," and agreed. Al, much taller now, looked down on Piper and agreed to bless them with his aerodynamic wisdom. It is said that Mooney forged the Comanche wing in a lightning storm, hammering the airfoil into existence using pure determination and a slide rule. When he handed the design to Piper, he didn't say a word. He just nodded. That nod alone added 15 knots to the Comanche's cruise speed. The Comanche would go on to be the far superior aircraft in every single way. Swagger, sound, comfort, all the things that matter most. Sure, there are no parts available and it burns more fuel, but it burns it more accurately. The Mooney is a toy compared to the mighty beast of the Comanche because the Comanche was built by a man that was 5'10" in every way imaginable, a man that was representative of the men that would pilot his aircraft. Piper stayed the same height from the day he was born until the day he died. He was always room temperature in both Fahrenheit and Celsius from his first breath until his last. Consistent, trustworthy, and handsome, just like the aircraft he designed with tail-mounted control surfaces that faced the proper direction. In the end, Piper won. The Mooney community was not pleased by this, and to soothe themselves, they began perpetuating the legend of Al Mooney, a continually evolving legend of a giant among men who has become the Chuck Norris of aviation. It is rumored that Al passed due to hypoxia. He spent most of his life in Denver. Combine the mile-high city with Al's giant stature and the air gets pretty thin. That's just a rumor intentionally spread to cover up the truth. The truth is, Al got stuck in his Mooney. He climbed in for one last flight, not realizing during the flight that he would grow just enough to not be able to get back out. Once he became aware of his situation, he turned on the autopilot and flew west. Nobody knows where he met his fate, but Mooney pilots still invoke his name when defending their legroom. New pilots whisper of the legendary height inflation. Somewhere in the great beyond, Al Mooney sits, knees together, even taller, probably 8'2" by now, overseeing the aviation world and laughing that the wing he stole from the P-51 still carries one of the most capable aircraft still flying today, and also the Mooney.
All right, so now you know the legend of Al and all things Mooney. All of what you heard was true. They were words, and I wrote them, and I'm typically not someone who's thought of as a liar. So probably you could say any of those facts to people and be confident that they'll hear you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Stun and Fun's coming up. It's a week away-ish. I don't know. I'm going to be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Come see me. I'll be at the Gold Seal booth. I think it's in Hangar C. If it's not in Hangar C, I'll put what the real hangar is right here so you can see it. If it is Hangar C, I'll put Hangar C. That was a Derringer. That's an interesting twin aircraft that flies around here. Come to the Gold Seal booth. We'll be playing Prop Quiz. I'll be hosting the game those 4 days. You bring a pilot friend and we'll find out who's the smartest and win some merch. So you go head-to-head in a trivia, 10 questions. And walk away knowing who's the better pilot. That's the definitive, we're going to figure this one out. So come see me, Hangar C or whatever hangar I put here. I'll be there those 4 days. You guys fly smart, and I will catch you in the next one. I hope to see you all at Sun and Fun.